So today is June 22nd, and yesterday was International Indigenous Day. And all my brothers and sisters out there know it as Aboriginal Day. And this illustrious Prime Minister changed that. I wanted to come in here, and I think it's high time that I told YouTube and my subscribers and everybody that's watching that I'm Indigenous. And the reason I want to tell you about my heritage and about my culture and about my people is because everything that's going on right now across Canada and around the world when it comes to mass graves at residential schools. My people have endured so much pain and so much agony as a minority throughout Canada when it comes to racism. And I just want to be straightforward with each and every one of you that I know that everybody in Canada indeed is not racist, that it only takes a few bad apples to ruin it for the rest of us. I am Kwakiutl, which that is the non-minority way of saying it. My people are called the Kwagyo, and the white man's term is Kwakiutl. And a man in the 1930s wrote a book about the West Coast people, and I'll have to look it up for you. A white man wrote it, and indicating that our people, the Kwakiutl people, were cannibals, that when our people died, we would eat them. And my uncle put that story to rest with me, that it was absolutely unfounded, untrue, that our people did that. I'm from the west coast of Canada. I was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada in 1971. Of Kwakiutl and Helsik. And my father was a logger and was in residential school in 1944 with my uncle and four of my cousins that were in Port Alberni Indian hospitals died. And my uncle and my father watched them die. Now, my great-grandmother was in residential school before Canada was even a country. So you can see where the racism spawns from. It has been here in these lands for 200 years. And just now, this month, people are starting to open up their eyes on what happened to our people. Due to racism, people have labeled men, Aboriginal men, woman beaters, drug addicts, alcoholics, welfare bums. Every name under the sun I've been called. Every name. And I am 50 years of age. And the content that you see that I put up there, the content you see is me. I also put up content of a variety of people's TikToks from TikTok because I believe in supporting their cause. I believe in supporting them as TikTokers, as a TikToker myself. So those are the videos that you see when you see not my content. This is Philip Holmes Media from either native TikTok or TikTok. That's me, and that's what I'm pursuing. That I'm supporting these people, and I'm putting their links in the description saying this is where you can find them in TikTok. So go take a look at their content. I do that because I believe in helping out people. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We were never a society to be shunned upon, a minority to be shunned upon, that we are nothing but people that are groundskeeper of Mother Earth. We never raped Mother Earth. We never took advantage of Mother Earth. We took only what we needed, and we gave back through prayer to the Creator. And the Creator is your God, and the God is our Creator. They're one and the same. We just have different beliefs, like you have different beliefs, and that is okay. You are entitled to your beliefs, just like we are entitled to ours. Racism has been here for 200 years on the shores of Canada and around the world. And the only way to end radical hate, I believe, how I was taught, is reconciliation through love, is how we can eradicate racism from the shores of Canada and the world. But we have to band together, and laws must change throughout the nations. And I was telling you that my uncle and my father were in residential school in 1944, and I have had many conversations with my uncle, and he lives in Vancouver, and he's my dad's brother. And my father just passed away last September, and he never wanted to talk about the residential school. Now, you guys out there asked and requested that I talk to you about my people and about my heritage. Well, with my people and my heritage comes residential school, and comes the racism. And that's why I have to tell that part of the story. It is an ugly part of our past. It is an ugly stain and scar on Canada and Canada's history, because not only that we have been finding mass graves throughout Canada of little children that didn't get that chance to go home. We're telling their stories. I am a conduit that is speaking for my ancestors that can no longer speak for themselves. I am their voices now. My people that are alive are their voices now. The injustice, the racism, the murders, the rapes, the mass graves. You see, the Canadian government destroyed those records of the dead babies that were found in those mass graves. But the thing is that Rome, as in the Vatican, has those records on file. I am a West Coast native from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I am now residing in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I have been here for 31 years. I am adopted Aboriginal man. My mom is of Métis heritage from Selkirk, Manitoba, Canada, and she's 78. I am a proud, loving son. I love my mother very much, and I need to come on here and spend 10 minutes with you and tell you about who I am as a YouTuber, who I am as a TikToker, and share with you my background and my history of my people. That my people are crying out for change. My ancestors before me are crying for change. They are the ones talking to us. They're the ones that are saying we need change. And I am that voice. The voice for the voiceless that can no longer speak for themselves. I don't hold any bitterness towards those who are a non-minority, because I don't know you. And I know nothing about you, but you think that I am portraying this on you, and I am saying it is all your fault. It is not all your fault. You had nothing to do with it, but your ancestors did. And I'm not playing the finger game. I'm not pointing my finger at you and saying, damn you for doing this. I'm saying that change needs to come to Canada. And with change comes reconciliation through love in order to end racism. I call for peace and I call for action when it comes to more laws that need to change throughout the land when it comes to racism. And I don't know, it feels like I'm repeating myself, so I'm not going to try and get ahead of myself. I am an aboriginal man, indigenous man, whatnot. That comes with a past. A very tattered past full of hate and remorse. And when I was 19, I came to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I had no clue or idea what racism was. I didn't. I had no clue what racism was. I had a schoolmate in school that would tell me dirty Indian jokes and pat me on the shoulder. And no offense, that's just a joke. I'm just bugging you. And I told my uncle this, and my uncle was working at Northern and Culture Affairs in Winnipeg and helped get off the ground the Métis Pavilion at Folklorama and the Folk Arts Council. And he goes, well, what did this individual say to you? And I told him he would tell me really dirty Indian jokes and then slap me on the back and give me a half-assed hug and say, I'm just joking around, no offense. And he goes, he wasn't joking around, that's bigotry. And I'm 19 and bigotry, what does that mean? And he goes, that means that he is racist towards you, and he intended to use malcontent against you. He is not your friend. And then he explained to me about racism, and that it's important to know in your heart that not everybody in Canada is racist, that it only takes a few bad seeds to ruin it for the rest of us. So you have to be vigilant when it comes to racism, and you have to take racism with a grain of salt. And so that's what I was taught when I was a young man, and I took that with me to now. Because now I'm 50. Now I'm an old man. And I support Black Lives Matter. I support murdered and missing Indigenous women. I support Native TikTok. And if there is a Native YouTube, I support that. If there isn't one, we need to think up one, of a think tank, and think it up. But this is what you see before me. I am a Native man with a troubled past and a troubled history of my people. And you want anything to know about residential schools in the world or in Canada, please look them up. Please do your own research. Don't take my word for it. I just wanted to put the residential school in my history because it is part of my history as an Indigenous man, and that it comes with pain and love and hate. And I needed to share that with you, so please look up residential schools. Please look up residential schools on YouTube, on Google. Please look up one Kevin Annett. He is the one who was supposed to spearhead the TRC in the 1990s, and he helped out a lot of my people in the 1990s in Port Alberni, where my father and my uncle were in residential school. He even talked to my father. I found a transcript of Kevin Annett and my father, and my father would not talk to me about residential school or the pain that he went through. he said to me one time, "Were you there?" I said, "What?" And he says, "Were you in residential school?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, then it's none of your concern." So I said, "Okay, I respect that." And that was in late 2001 when I asked him about it, and he wouldn't talk to me. And I went to my uncle and I talked to him about it, and he said he went through hell and back when it comes to residential schools. And if he doesn't want to talk to you about it, don't press him, don't push him, and just leave it at that. If you want to ask me anything about residential school, and I'll tell you. So that's where the long talks with my uncle and me came in, and he was telling me about the pain and suffering that happened, and the ugliness and the horrors that happened, and these investigations need to go underway when it comes to these poor little babies that didn't get to go home. And when I heard about those 215 little babies that didn't get a chance to go home, that just broke me. It broke me in two. I couldn't do any TikTok videos for 14, 15 days. I couldn't bring myself to being a happy-go-lucky native man with respect to doing lip syncing videos and stuff like that. It's just not. I couldn't do it. I had to gather my thoughts. I had to gather my strength and figure out where to go from there and how to pursue how I want to tell you my story of being native and native Canadian. Right now, with respect, and I do apologize. I am going to upset a lot of people out there, and I do apologize forthwith. I am not a patriot anymore. My uncle was a patriot, and my uncle passed away in 2010, and he was also a member of the Order of Canada, and he was also Métis. He was a patriot. I was a patriot. And when I found out the news on the mass graves in Kamloops Residential School, I can no longer be a patriot. I can no longer celebrate Canada Day with you, and I do apologize for that. But I am ashamed to be Canadian. I am ashamed with the outright hate towards my people. And I'll never celebrate Canada Day again, and I'll never be a proud Canadian. Because the Canadian government spent 150 years covering up the mass graves. So our little ancestors would never get to come home. And they destroyed the records of all the documented children that were in residential school, all the documented children that were raped and murdered. They documented it and then they destroyed them. So I can never, ever bring myself to being a proud Canadian ever again. I am ashamed of my country. I am a man without a country. So this has gone on for almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to all my subscribers and to the individual who commented on my Mohawk tutorial. Thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much for sharing that with me. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, that you brought out the best in me. That it's high time that I talk with my viewers and YouTube in general, and I tell them about my history. I'm going to be putting more videos up now of my people and residential school and the nuns and the priests and the doctors that were involved, and the government that tried so very hard to wipe out my people and kill us off, and they failed miserably. And from day one, they failed, and they've been trying ever since, through racism, through Child and Family Services, through the Justice Department, through religion, through the RCMP. The RCMP were founded on racism. And now I'm closing. Let me close at 20 minutes. That the Canadian government is paying the RCMP to abduct our women and sell them into foreign countries into sex slavery. I have no documented proof of that, but that's what the elders across Canada are saying. And I, as an Indigenous man, I will never, ever go silently into the night ever again. Not when it comes to my ancestors, not when it comes to my people, and how passionate I am about my people. That the racism and the racists out there in Canada, you're being put on notice. The racism one day will end, and we will bring forth reconciliation through love to the shores of Canada and to the shores of the world. I truly believe that, and I will stand by that for the rest of my days. I am Philip Holmes from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and you're not. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Leave a comment. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. I support you either the right way or the wrong way. I can take constructive criticism, just like I can take by putting a stick of gum in my mouth and chewing it. Thank you for your time. Your time is important. Thank you for spending 21 minutes with me and watching this. Now you know a little bit about me as a YouTuber and as an Indigenous man and my heritage and my people. And I'm going to be putting more videos on until the cows come home. Thank you so much.